And at this time, I'm pleased to be joined by the Blue Jackets president of Hockey Operations, and John Davidson has made his way up here. And we're getting you fixed now technically here, right?
We're all
you
set,
good?
All set.
I mean, you're old hat at this, right?
Morning,
Microphone in hand, You're ready to go.
You got a pretty good seat here.
Yeah, it's not bad. This wouldn't be a bad seat for the regular season, would it?
Is that a lobbying attempt?
No, no lobbying attempts by me. I'm just happy to be here, John. Wherever I am, put me in the rafters.
Gotcha,
I'm okay.
Gotcha.
Well, you know how this works because you spend a lot of time broadcasting. So the first question that you have to ask on day 3 on the ice in the first scrimmage game is, what have you liked so far in these first couple of days?
Well, I think there's a lot of different things when you try to analyze things. I like the attitude of everybody. I obviously like the commitment that the players made during the offseason. Gone through their physicals. There's only a couple of players that can't play, that being Prout and Horton, which was expected because of surgeries. But the conditioning level, the improvement on body parts that had issues at the end of last season, etc., the doctors are thrilled with. So are we. That's a good thing. That's set your mind in a proper area going forward. There's competition, especially on the blue line. There's not a ton of separation with a lot of players here, so we have to make some tough, important decisions. There's young players who are playing well when I talk about Murray and Jenner, etc. But we don't have to rush them. If they're ready, they'll play. If they're not, there's time ahead in their careers to play at the NHL level. Certain players in particular, I really like Johansson out of the chute, just flying. And that just tells me that he's maturing as an individual, getting stronger physically, maturing into a big body. There's a young defenseman by the name of Millard. I don't know how good he's going to be yet, but he's big and he's played hard, and he's got everybody mad at him on the ice, which is good because he doesn't care. He just plays. So a lot of things when you start analyzing and thinking about players, I like. Umberger, by the way, has looked very sharp, and he had a slow season last season. He really looks like he's mentally and physically into it right now. He's had a good first couple of days. And this morning watching him practice already. So, yeah, good stuff.
He's one of those guys that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my opinion is that last year, because of the way it played out, and there was the lockout, and some guys went overseas and played, some guys didn't. A guy like RJ, he stayed active because he helped out with Ohio State, and he coached and he skated, and he did all of those things, but it wasn't that regular competition and that high pace all the time. Do you think maybe that hurt him a little bit? And do you think that this year he's a little bit more ready, having gone through that experience last year?
I just think mostly that everybody's different. Some it helped by playing overseas, some it didn't. Some it helped by not playing, etc. I just think with certain players, when they didn't even know if there was going to be a season, when all of a sudden there was a season, just weren't there mentally. Tried to be, but sometimes it doesn't work because it's a heck of a commitment to get ready for an NHL season. That's water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. My ammo would be that I hope when things like that happen, people learn from it. And in watching a person like RJ practice the last 2.5 days, this morning and yesterday and the day before, he's doing a lot of good things, real good things. And if you start thinking about a healthy Wisniewski, Umberger playing to what he can play, Ryan Johansson, he made a lot of strides last year, but he keeps going. I mean, these are things that are going to make our team a whole lot better than even a year ago.
Well, a guy that made the team a whole lot better is this guy right here, Sergei Bobrovsky. He's got those new pads on. I talked to him about it the other day because the NHL has shortened the pads by a couple of inches at the top, and they've also kind of changed the nets a little bit. As a former goaltender, what are those adjustments going to be like for all goalies in the league?
It'll be interesting to see. I know when you start messing with equipment, it can become an adjustment, no question. These guys are top-of-the-line professionals. They'll deal with it. I personally, and listen, they shoot the puck today so hard, and every one of the players can do it. When I played as a goaltender a long time ago, there was 3 or 4 players per team that could really shoot it. Everybody else just shot it okay. The equipment we had was subpar. It was brutal. We played with black and blue bruises all over the place. I could go into a long length of stories about that. The masks weren't safe. The gloves were small. The pads I used to have to put big cotton pads underneath on my shins, between my shins and the goal pad to take some of the heaviness of the shot away. Skates were brutal. We'd lose 1 or 2 toenails, it sounds awful, every year. The blunt force of a puck hitting your cap of your skate. But then when I look at it up until through last season, I think it went overboard. Not with the masks, with the gloves, yes, goal pads, yes, hockey pants for sure, and some of the upper body armor that, there's been goalies in this league when they drop to their knees, things on their shoulders would go up like flaps on an airplane, on the wings of an airplane. You're going down and those things go up. It was not regulated very well, and now it is. So as long as the goalies feel safe, and it's fair to all the goaltenders, smaller ones and bigger ones, size-wise, then I think it's a good idea. We need to get scoring back into the game.
With John Davidson, Blue Jackets president of hockey operations, head coach Todd Richards has come out in the first couple of days of camp and basically said he wants his veteran players to play in 5 of the 8 preseason games. He wants them to be game ready on October 4th when the Calgary Flames come here. Players over the years, you get accustomed to playing maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 exhibition games. Is it a lot to ask out of your veteran guys?
I don't think so. Remember, we haven't played for a long time because we didn't make the playoffs. Second of all, I think if there are players who, I think that's ideal, but if there is some issues with a player, they'll play 4 instead of 5. If there's more young people we need to look at, they'll take a look at the young person. I think that coach is trying to impress upon our players how important the strong start to the season will be. We've got a lot of teams, 16 teams over there in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be hard to make the playoffs. There's good teams, and if you have a real bad slow start, it's going to be an uphill climb all season long. So I think he's really trying to impress upon everybody that he wants a strong start to the season to make sure everybody's ready.
James Wisniewski we're taking a look at right now. He's a guy in the last couple of years, he's had some health issues. He's in top shape right now. How important do you feel that's going to be for a couple of things? Number one, just the overall defense, but secondly, to help get that power play charge this year.
Yeah, no question. I think that when you think of a club that's a good club, it's hard to win consistently when there's certain areas of your team that aren't good. And our power play has to improve. And I think with him, knowing that he's healthy, we all know about the bomb of a shot he has. He's a weapon on it. That's just simply put. And he's got a good set of, or a good passion level for the game itself. So touching wood, stay healthy, and hopefully it'll help the power play when you have a Wisniewski, you have a Gabrick. Later in the season we'll have Horton. We're going to have players that have improved, such as Johansson and others, over the summer. So I think it should be better.
You opted not to make really a lot of moves over the summer. You mentioned Nathan Horton. That's the big splash move that you did make as an organization. And you've also decided to let some of the young players grab some more ice time. Yeah. Going to see if they're going to be able to handle it. And, as you've made that decision a couple of months ago and you've watched things progress, how good do you feel about that decision right now?
Well, I feel good. I think our team will be big down the middle with Dubinsky and Anisimov and Johansson, etc. I think that knowing the success that we had last season, now a lot of people, and they're right, can say it's easy to be good down the stretch when you're out of it. There's no pressure on your team. Our team was good down the stretch and we had pressure on us, a lot of pressure on us. We had to win, and we won a lot of games on the road to stay in the race and almost get into the big dance. That showed me something. So you can't tear a team apart when you did some good things. I know we have to be better, and there's evolution in this sport, and young players deserve, if they deserve it, more ice time going forward. A youngster like Atkinson, who really had problems last year with a high ankle sprain, it was nagging all year long. He's back and he's healthy and he's ready to go. So I expect him to help us in a lot of different ways. Young people, Calvert getting more ice time. Gabrick's going to get ice time. He's not young, but he's that type of player. So I like the evolution. A lot of guys earned it. It's time to move forward.
All right, they're about to start. Just before I let you go, what are you hoping to see out of this 25-minute scrimmage?
I want competitive play. We've told them no fighting, no gloves off. Do that if you want when you play other teams. I expect to watch Millard. He may jump or bump some people. That's going to get their attention. I want pace, a lot of pace, and just intelligent play.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bob.
JD.
Take
Appreciate
care.
that. John Davidson, Blue Jackets president of Hockey Operations, joining me here.